Yes, Mr. Roger. I'm Kim Field in Arlington, and I was looking at your site where we ditched the rule. Could you briefly explain it to me?
Oh, it's a lot to go into.
But basically, if it's not flowing water, the EPA is trying to regulate it. If it's not flowing water, the EPA wants to regulate it.
Yeah, have you looked at the Ditch the Rule website that we have?
No, but I understand from that Fox video of that family in the canoe in the dry ditch.
Sure.
That if it's not flowing, pretty much that's what they're trying to regulate.
Yeah, I mean that's basically it. Hold on a second here. Let me just get something up real quick.
Because if it rains, it could flow into other sources that do flow, or it could go.
That's exactly it. Hold on a second. Just give me a second here.
Because that would protect us from the frack impoundment, those ponds where they hold the toxic water. So we really want to have that regulated. And if this is a way to start regulating frack ponds, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, the best way for you to do it, see what we're talking about, go to ditchtherule.fb.org, and that kind of lays it out. But the larger problem that we have with the EPA is that right now they're essentially saying that if you want to be exempted from EPA regs on your own land, whatever you do within your ordinary farming practices, they have to be in compliance with National Resource Conservation Service (NRCS) regs, which, depending upon where you are in the country, can be pretty onerous. It can be pretty crazy, frankly. And right now, there's no such thing. NRCS procedures are entirely voluntary.
So do you?
But if you go to ditchtherule.fb.org, I think you can see some more about what we're talking about.
Well, a good example, though, Terry Greenwood from Pennsylvania just died of brain cancer. And 6 years ago, 10 of his calves died after fracking came in and ruined a pond that they drink from. So if it takes this to finally regulate the frack ponds that risk our water supplies, it's a small price to pay, just like the people that have to live in urban areas with drilling in their backyards. It's a small price to pay.
Fracking, that's not really what we're talking about.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. If this is how we're going to regulate frack ponds, then so be it.
Yeah, I mean, fracking ponds, that's an entirely different matter as far as we're concerned.
But do you think this rule will finally regulate frack ponds?
Well, I don't know, but that's not our concern. We're not concerned about frack. If frack ponds are a bad thing, that's fine. But we're talking about ordinary farming ponds. We're not talking about fracking ponds. So that's not what we're involved with.
Well, if people have to live with drill sites in their backyards, then farmers have to live with this EPA rule, because in the end, it's all this water is connected.
Well, yes. Take a look at it. ditchtherule.fb.org. The problem here is this: if we have to wait for EPA permits to farm, we can't farm. I mean, EPA. The reason Congress didn't give EPA control over all connected waters, why they talked only about navigable waters, is because if you're not talking about navigable waters, you're talking about basically dirt. You're talking about demanding permits from farmers to engage in ordinary farming activities. But look at it, whether you agree or not, just rule.fb.org has it all.
Because the farmers have the runoff from, into our water supplies of their fertilizers. We've got problems with Roundup and atrazine.
Well, sure, but farmers have to farm.
Well, organic farming is really taking off. My uncle in Missouri just leased all his property to organic farming, and every store is coming online with organic product lines, and that's all I serve to my family is organic products, because after drilling came in, my husband got cancer, my teen has endocrine disruption, biomarkers, and we can't afford no more pollution. We can't.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but listen, I got stuff to do, but thanks for your comments. Look at the Ditch the Rule site, and maybe you'll learn something a little more about
please look up Terry Greenwood.